Hello everyone, you join me an hour in to the latest round of the Cosqueta Challenge. We're back at Acorn. We've drawn ourselves a lovely peg 10. The venue seems to be fishing really hard, so I'm on a bit of a flyer peg here. But I've only had one 2-pound carp, I've had 2 tench, a skimmer and a roach. And that's all I've had in the first hour, which sounds okay, but you know, compared to what you can get here, it's not brilliant. I've caught most of my fish on this line that I'm on now, although I have tried multiple other lines. I've got a short line with I'm feeding with corn, I've got lines tight to the far bank that I'm feeding with pellets and maggots. I've got lines in 3 foot down the slope. I've got a few lines all over the shop, but this is the only one I can get any sort of consistent bites on. And I've put a lot of maggots in here. I put a big pot of maggots in at the start, so an hour ago. I'm topping it up with that big pot on the end of the pole there. Every single time we go in, we just put in one of those. Every time we go in, every time we have a fish, we put one of those in. And there's fish there, definitely getting bubbles. We are struggling to locate the fish. I'm just going to try slightly to my right in case there's a bit of weed on the line or something like that. There's a bit of weed down here on the spot. I don't know if that's affecting it or not. I'm just going to the right of the spot where I've fed now. Only a few inches, but in case those maggots have drifted a little bit. Certainly over the depth that they've been fed, those maggots will spread anyway. So it's like 5.5. It's nearly 6 foot there. It's a few inches short of 6 foot. But like I say, around me, from what I can see, not a lot's been caught. There's odd carp, there's odd people catching odd carp. But it's not happening. So I thought, I'll get me down on some of these silvers, but that's not really happening either. I've got a short line with corn, which I might change to pellets later. It's like a top kit and a quarter of a section. There's 3 foot there. Hope to catch late there and put some fish in the bag. And I've got some lines tight over to the far bank. I started over there and tapped some bait in, but didn't really get a lot going on. I've put a bit more bait in and I can't see any signs of fish over there. Another little tiny indication on the pole on this rig then. Sitting down a little bit, that float is. But, it's definitely moving it through. This wind is definitely moving the rig through. So I don't know if that's going to help or hinder the situation. But as you can see, it's not fast and furious, and it's not fast. It's not frantic enough for me. So I've got to try something else. But then I don't think there's a fat lot else happening anywhere else either. So I'm just letting the float just drift out the swing a little bit now, just to see if anything's that bit further to the left. I've caught most of my fish so far right on top of where the feed's been going. That don't mean it's right. Sometimes they can be spread out. Could be that a carp's moved into this fish. What I'm going to do is just put the whole butt into my belly. That'll give me an extra few inches and just fish past the feed just for a second now. I know there's some fish there because I've caught some. I'm just trying to see if there's a way to catch them marginally quicker. At the moment, everything's rock hard. I'm expecting the wind to get up later and I'm expecting there to be rain. It's going to be great fun because the wind's coming straight across from my right to my left, so it's going to be really hard to keep my bait dry. It's going to be really hard to keep me dry. But at the moment, as you can see, things aren't going well. So I think we've got 32 quid left in the kitty today. Well, I started here, I think it was 32 quid. So obviously I paid 15, so that puts us down to 17 quid. So if I don't win today, then I have to, if I don't win any money today, then I have to win some money in the next match, else the challenge is over. And I think we've done something like 17 matches now, including this one, maybe something like that, somewhere around there. Put it on the screen if it's not right. That's very well. I'm going to turn you off and not waste too much battery while we're not catching anything. But, you know, just thought I'd show you the first hours have been rock hard, and we'll see if we can sort something out in a bit. Catch you in a bit, guys. Right, guys, 3.5 hours in. I'm not give you any updates because there's not a lot happened. I've got something on here which could be a foul locker. I've got a room full of carp that are really shallow and not really wanting to feed their yards with a foul locker. And it's just getting silly now because they're over there. And they're coming into the maggots. They're definitely feeding, but they just don't. I can't seem to hop one. I'm fishing. I've had a couple out and then it gets out and then you just can't catch them. So I'm fishing over in the shallow water until there's fish there. I've started fishing a little bit deeper than this, but I just kept far looking at it. So I've gone as tight as I can shallow. With a long lash to try and not spook fish. It don't seem to be right. Not sure if I wasted a big chunk of the match faffing about with these fish. I think the shots have slid down the rig again. The back shots keep sliding down to the top of the float when I catch a fish. There you are, next I'm just sinking the flute. I'm giving a bit of an extra squeeze on this time, so if we can keep them stay where they are. Hopefully I'll stay where they are now. Put some feed in, so let's just consider some blaze. Gary on peg 6, I've had a nice run of fish. Seems to suss something up against the bridge. I can only see about half the field, so I don't know what everybody's doing, but I don't think anybody's running away with it just yet, so it's not time to panic. Maybe in the short line where I've been feeding that corner is going to come good for me. Bite straight away there, they've had a lot of indications over there, and again, that might be in the mouth, that looked a bit more melted like. Something going on with the elastics, it doesn't want to come out the end of the pole. It's got trapped. And what's going on here? It's cost me a big fish, that has. Don't know what's happened, I think it's got the whole rig. I think the rig got trapped around the... I think the rig must have got trapped around the pot. It's just took everything off. It's not brilliant, is it? Put a cruise foot on the end there for now. Not great, just sort of got something sussed. Right, I have to retie that rig. So there we are. I'll retie that rig. And I'll catch you back up in a bit. Well, that's where we're at. I've got £11 a skip per carp. Just missed a nice carp there. So we've got some things are starting to happen. Hoping this short corn line will work. Catch you in a bit. It's about half an hour since I spoke to you. I've managed to tighten the rig up. Went straight out with it. After I plumbed it all up, went straight out with it and booked carp straight away, and I've been hooking carp ever since, really. So I've gone from, I had like £11 when I spoke to you, and I got £30. Lost a couple of them carp, I think there was a few foul lookers, but starting to get them in the mouth now. Hopefully this is another one in the mouth, I'll show you in a second. wind's got up, making it harder to do what I'm doing, but I'm just fishing tight over the far bank in the shallowest water with a really long lash, trying to keep the pole tip away from the fish, tapping this on maggots. Single maggot on the hook, and what I've done, what seems to have made the difference is, when I set this rig up, I decided I'm going to just have one shot down the line, and I pull one shot on the float, so the float stays nice and stable in the wind, and then the maggot on the hook will fall down nicely, and look like a free offering, you know, like it's a single maggot on a, it's not a big hook, but it's a single maggot. This feels like a big fish. I can't get him in easy, and I'm getting some good head nods. Yeah, this is a big fish, this one. So that's nice. Hopefully we'll get him out. That's what we need. We need a couple of big fish now to get us back in the race. There's been a few people that have been catching for longer than we have. We've been well off the pace. If we can just keep these fish coming now, and then get a nice finish, we might be able to pull something out of the bag. This is the biggest fish I've hooked all day. I've just seen him. He's, 8 or 9 pounder. I think. If he's already going on a run, I'm just giving him letting him have a bit of life. Got an 11 up, only 11 up then. Still really cold. You know, it's quite cold now. Yeah, temperature's cold. The wind's cold. The lake's switched off really. That's due to the weather. You know, cold nights. But the fish are still not having it just yet. So there's no point putting heavy gear on for banking on because it's just not going to happen. And you miss out on bites this time of year if you put too heavy gear on. But I'll find over 11. Powerline, 16 SFL. 16 SFL. And you put a single maggot on it, looks stupid. But today a single maggot has been much better than a double maggot. So obviously these fish are tuned in to picking up single maggots. Single maggots are safer. I'm just sprinkling in. I've got a big sprinkle pot on, but I'm not filling it every time I go in. It's not one of them days, and I don't want too many carp over there. There's a little con in this one. It might not quite be 8 pound, it might be like a 7 pound of this. The deluge is much bigger. The biggest fish I've had so far has been like 5 pound. A lot of 3 and 4 pound fish, 2 pound fish. We got it. Yeah, he's probably 7, isn't he? I've got a bit more. I've got a little bit more than 7. Quite thick. All 7. Got some 37 pound. Let's see if I catch another one shot. At least I can show you what we're doing and maybe we can get one on the camera, maybe not. So, like I said, 16 SFL to over length. That's standard, that's a shop bought one. Preston bought one, no problems with them. And then I've got this big pot, but I'm not filling it. Probably only up to about there. Half full. And I'm just using that to bring some fish into the swamp. If I stretch my arm out, that's roughly where the edge line is, the short line is. I'm just chucking a few bits of corn on that. That's the way it goes on. Maybe we'll catch something down there later, maybe we won't. Just found that if I go out here, I'm about to put my little extension on my pole, just so it gets to the right distance. And then I can turn it on and tap all of it in at once. I was tapping it in bit by bit by bit, 2s and 3s, and I was getting loads of liners doing that. So I just decided to get it. It was a little bit, dropped a little tiny bit since I started the video, so it's nice. I've got to upload it every now and again. You get gusts where the pole blows around, as long as you can do. And it keeps dragging the float away from the bank, which is not what I want. But I'll keep laying this rig in because it's sort of slow falling. And I'm looking for, sometimes fish grab it as it drops in. And then again I'll just lift it up. I'll just drop it back in. So that falls straight down on the pile on top of the spot where I fed. Sometimes I'll just pull the elastic out and do that. I've had a couple do that today. It's really tricky in this wind. So I've got some back shots quite close to the fleet. Try and stop the line blowing around too much. I could probably get away with a shorter lash today, but I seem to be getting away with this for now. Not too worried. And it's just getting up again now, a little bit of a bearing of port. Let's put the rig in again. Sometimes the wind blows it away from the edge, which is not what you want. It's quite a small ledge on this swim. Some of the swims I've been on at Acorn comes a couple of feet off the flat area, goes a couple of feet back before it starts to drop off. This one, it's quite sudden. I've got a few inches, or almost an indication now. It's probably like that. This is one in the swim. I've caught a nice skimmer over there doing this. I had the roach. I think you catch the skimmers in the shallowest water, but it's spawning season, so they do tend to come into the shallows when they get thinking about spawning. A little indication again there then. Something in the swim, I think. I'll get a tiny dink and he's off. Very scatty fish that, so it's probably a small one off our look. It's flying out the swim really quickly. So it's probably a small one, you just don't know, but I think it's like a little stocky, what the feel of him. And that's what we've been doing. So that's an improvement. We'll just keep doing that. Plodding away, nicking fish. It's a little stocky. Probably not quite £3, but definitely more than 2. You just have 2 for him, right? I'm going to turn you off, catch us up for a bit later on, but there you are, that's how we're getting on. We're nearly £40 now, that's a carp. We've probably got over £40 with the silvers, so let's see if we can keep it going. The chest cam didn't come back on after this, and so we've just got the 360 footage, so the sound is appalling. So I thought I'd do a voiceover for you guys. I'll give you a bit of an update on how we're going with the Cross Cutter Challenge. This is the 18th match in the Cross Cutter Challenge. Now, those that haven't seen the Cross Cutter Challenge before, what I've done is I've taken £100 and I've said, how many matches can I fish for £100? Each time I win, I put the money back in the kitty to go towards the match fees. We only look at the expense of match entry fees. We don't look at the expense of travelling or the expense of bait or tackle, etc., because it's too complicated and boring. We just want to see how many matches can we fish with £100, and each time we win, we put the money back in. So at the moment, we're on the 18th round. We've got about 37 quid in the kitty, I think. So that's where we are up to now. Now, one of the rounds is missing. So the previous round to this, which round 17, I haven't filmed. I did film it. I tried to film it, but the film and the footage didn't come out. The sound was rubbish and it was horrible. And it was down on peg 17 on the same. We were fishing Acorn again. And it was down on peg 17, which, if you're looking at the screen now, it's down that left-hand bank, roughly where that white van is. and we weighed about £80. It's a tough area. We weighed about £80. We came nowhere, and we needed 120, 130 to frame. So that put us onto 37 quid coming into this round. So that's just an update for those that are eagle-eyed and gone, hang on a minute, you know, what's happened here? We've missed a round. So what I've done is I've just put a bit of a montage together of the fish that were caught towards the end of the match. So as you've already seen, this match started really, really slowly, sort of 2-3 hour, actually 3.5 hours really before anything sort of started to happen for me. I tried about 3 or 4 different lines and things weren't right. And then you saw me get broke off by that fish. I get up against the island there. That fish sort of got the rig got tangled around my pot, and something got stuck under the pot. And somehow it cut the elastic off. Probably a bit of an old elastic that needed changing, because all my elastics are due for a change, ready for the summer now. So it forced me to change my rig. Made me think about my rig a little bit more, what I was doing over there, and I just changed it around a little bit so that it was, you know, a bit better for what I was doing, which was sort of fishing in the really shallow water. So I had a nicer, longer lash, and I wanted to keep the shot away from the fish, because the fish here, if they feel shot, they just shoot out and swim. So I had one shot down the line, all the rest under the float, just to try to keep the float still. And I set that rig up, and that was actually a godsend, because once I did that, it was just like in and out, in and out. So I was shipping over to that far bank and just having odd fish. You know, you had to put a bit of bait in, a bit of maggot in for them, weigh. You did foul hook odd ones. You'll see a few fish that got lost that were foul hookers, but ultimately most of them were nice clean bites. And what I also found was, as the match wore on, and as I started to sort of get more and more confidence in this, that it was going to keep happening. So I was thinking, this got to be the last fish now. I can't keep catching them at this rate. But I did. And what I found was, the more and more maggots I put in, the bigger and bigger the fish got. And I was filling that pot up to the top at times. I didn't want to fill it every single time I went in, but every now and again I'd just fill it to the top, and every time I did that, it seemed like I caught a bigger and better fish. I knew that I was behind most other people, or quite a lot of people, although I knew the lake was fishing hard, so I was conscious of that, and I was just trying to catch as fast as I can now and try to catch up the people that have probably had a more steady early part of the match than me.
Right then, guys, the match is over. As usual, the GoPro's let me down, so some of the footage at the end's not so good, there's not so much audio, so there'll probably be some voiceovers. I think the 360 camera was still working, so you might have some footage on that. As it turns out, I've won the match with £143. I've gone over in one net and lost a couple of pound on that net. I actually genuinely believe I had 120. But I've obviously underestimated the size of some of those carp, and even the silvers were a bit bigger than I thought they were, so that's all good. It's been a weird day really, because I drew that flyer and I thought that's good, that's going to be nice, give me a chance to keep the £100 challenge going. And then after 3 hours, I'm sitting there thinking I'm struggling here. I could see Dan in the corner had caught a few fish, and I knew that there's a chance that other people would have caught that I can't see. And I'm just really struggling, and I couldn't work out why. And then eventually I've gone across to using the rig that I'd set up to fish tight over. I've just gone to a new spot, replumbed up on a new spot, a couple of inches difference in depth, and it just seemed a bit nicer and flatter there. And lo and behold, I've just tapped some maggots in there and I've had a carp, and it's just kept on happening for me. So that's been the line that sort of rescued me, and I've caught probably £100 of my weight there, maybe even a bit more. And then I've come short on the corn line, and had a few fish on that, and I was going to sit on that to the end, but then it went a bit funny. So I've just chipped out and caught one more carp at the end on that, back on that maggot line. So it's been really, really good. I mean, not sure what's happened or why it's happened how it has, but that's just how it is sometimes. Sometimes the fish just aren't feeding, and you're trying to do what you can and it's not working, and then suddenly they just switch on. And then I've made the most of it and managed to sneak the win. So thanks for tuning in, guys. That's another 50 quid that's gone into the kitty. So I think we were on 32 at the start of the day, and we've gone down 15. So we're going to be, off the top of my head, I think something like 67, I think. But I'll put the figures around if that's not quite right. So that means we're going to have, the £100 challenge rolls on, and we're just going to keep going until we run out of money. Catch you in a bit.